guys, welcome back to my channel. So today I have a book haul. So this is an accumulation of all the books that I've purchased or have received since the last time I filmed a haul, which I think was the beginning of the year. I think, maybe, I don't know. I really have not been like purchasing many books this year. I've been reading what I have, but sometimes you gotta do what you gotta do, because some of the books that I have still to read, I might have to unhaul. I own so many books from when I like first started reading years and years ago that just aren't my taste anymore or my style. So I'm still trying to like figure out what I'm into reading as of lately, since my taste has been changing a little bit. So in this haul, I have a lot of horror and lit fic, mainly couple thrillers. I haven't been reading a ton of thrillers. It's just kind of not my favorite genre lately. That's pretty much it. So we're just gonna go ahead and get started. And if you haven't already, make sure you subscribe to my channel. I read a lot of horror, extreme horror, mostly lit fic lately, sad books. If you like crying, if you like being depressed while you read, subscribe, like this video and subscribe. Okay, let's get started. I got my book card here, so I'm just going to start at random. A lot of these books I've actually read or have mentioned in videos before, so I'm just gonna go through those quickly. The first three that I have right here, I have Eileen by Oteza Moshfegh. This is a lit fic, unhinged woman book about this woman, Eileen, who she like takes care of her alcoholic father. She has a really shitty life. She works at this boys' prison, and then she becomes obsessed with the new woman that starts working there, and something happens at the end, like a crime aspect. Yeah, I read this one for a vlog. My full review will be linked up above and down below, but I did enjoy this one. And then I have Boy Parts by Eliza Clark. This is a literary fiction book about this woman who is a photographer. She photographs like unconventionally attractive men. She takes like erotic photos of them, and she gets a call to display her photographs in this art exhibit. So you are following her going through and looking at her photos and giving us her memories with these different men. It's unhinged. She is batshit, really crazy. I loved everything about her. I want to travel the world with her. I love this book so much. This is like American Psycho for hot girls. It gets really unhinged at the end. I loved it so much. And I have Ripe by Sarah Rose Etter. This is another literary fiction sad girl book, but this is about this woman who moves from Pennsylvania to California to kind of start a new life at this new job, and here it's so horribly toxic. And you are following her through day-to-day life as she feels like there's a black hole kind of following her around, symbolizing her depression and anxiety and mental health issues. And you learn about her trauma. It is so sad. It is gut-wrenching. It is so beautifully written. I highly recommend this book. It is so unique. I've never read anything like this. Absolutely loved it. Then, speaking of Sarah Rose Etter, I love that book so much. I picked up the Book of X. This one is like a really weird one. It's written very interesting, not many words per page. Not really sure what this is, but it's supposed to be gorgeous, grotesque, and heartbreaking. It's about this girl who's born with her stomach twisted in the shape of a knot. From childhood with her parents on a family meat farm to a desk job in the city, and finally experiencing love, she grapples with her body, men, and society, all while imagining a softer world than the one she is in. I don't know. I absolutely love Sarah Rose Etter's writing. Does she have more books? Because I want to buy them all. I need, like, I need to read everything that this woman has ever wrote, because she is just like an auto-buy author for me after reading Ripe. Like, that's how good it is. Oh, she has another book called Tongue Party. I'm looking her up after this. I need all of her books. I need them all. Then next is this sweet baby angel, A.W. Mason. He is a friend of mine. Hold on. So the author A.W. Mason, he is he's an indie horror author, sweetest sweetie pie in the world. He is a good friend of mine. Full disclosure, I can count how many authors I consider a friend on one hand, and they're all completely aware that I will give them honest reviews, and if I don't like their books, I will say something. But with him, I read The Scampering, which was a collaboration with Alana Drex, and I loved this. It's just an extreme horror short story about these squirrels, about this woman who's angry at squirrels, and lots of craziness happens. And I think if you hear noise, it's Michelle, my tortoise, in the background. Again, she has so much energy now that it's spring. Sorry. But I think most if not all of the proceeds go towards like animal welfare if you buy this book. So I bought it and I loved it. I loved the writing. So then I also purchased The Cleanup Crew by him, and this is just like a general fiction, I don't know what this is, horror fiction, but it's about this guy who wants to fit in with society, but living in a society that treats dying as an afterthought, he struggles to understand what life is about, and more importantly, death. To make things worse, he works for a cleanup crew who, you know, they clean up bodies after people die. But then it says that it says to keep the world at a normal place, saving people from death is illegal, and any violation will get you a visit from the Retribution Squad, which is a government force responsible for punishing those crimes and keeping the natural order in balance. As Ethan sees a woman drowning, he knows he's supposed to leave her be, but his conscience acts before he can silence it, dragging the woman out of the water before she can perish. Soon after, like, he's on the run from this Retribution Squad. So I don't know, this kind of just sounds like a wild one, and I can't wait to check out more from him. And then I purchased those two. He sent me A Haunt of Travels, which is a horror short story collection, and my good friend read this and said she absolutely loved it, so I can't wait to check this one out. And then he's also sending me a copy of Judy Martin's Final Curtain Call, which is his new book, and it's an unhinged woman book, so I absolutely cannot wait to check this one out, because I have been on an unhinged woman buying reading spree lately, as you probably can tell already from my channel and from this haul. It's an issue. It's an addiction. I have a problem. I can't stop. I'm an unhinged woman. I love other unhinged women. What can I say? Then, speaking of sweetie pies, John Lynch, and he sent me a while ago, like right after I filmed my last haul, these two books that I've already read. The first is the Conservators Collection, Derelict, by John Lynch, of course, and Jay Bauer and John Durgan. And it's a collection of like 3 novellas. It's just general horror. I enjoyed it. I'm not like obsessed with it, but I liked it and I would recommend it. And then he also sent me a physical copy of Christmas Eve Carnage, which I absolutely loved. It's about Sprinkles, this elf. This is Christmas horror, obviously, but it's one of those books that you can literally read any time of the year, because John Lynch's writing is so good, and I'm not just saying this. I've read his books before I became friends with him, and his writing is just so good because it's all like character development and you really get inside this family's head and you learn about their trauma and the shit that they have going on, and you get so sucked in. And then there's like, you know, a slight Christmas element to it, but if you take like the theme of Christmas away, you still have a solid book and a solid story, and that's why I love it. Because other Christmas horror books, if you take Christmas away, that's like the entire point and plot of the book. But this one is like a Chucky, kind of Grady Hendrix, How to Sell a Haunted House sort of vibe to it, where like if you take Christmas away, if it's not an elf, just think of it as like a normal doll. Like, it's still a solid book and a solid story. This does teeter on the edge of extreme horror a little bit. This one is just straight general horror, if I'm making sense. So yeah, love John Lynch. He's a sweetie pie also. Oh shit, apparently I have 3 sweetie pies in a row here. Another one is Chandler Morrison. I have an entire video on this book. This is his new book that comes out in May. He sent me an ARC. Absolutely love this one. It's very like different from all of his other books. There's zero gore, violence. It's more like, it doesn't have a genre. I would say it's more like literary fiction. You're following these people, these like rich people in LA, and they're trying to find love in all the wrong places, and it's very like depressing and hopeless and bleak, sad rich people drama. I absolutely love this one. It comes out May 14th. And then I bought this one, Until the Sun, because my friend Sean wanted to read it with me. We still haven't read it together, so Sean, if you're watching this, where are you? I have to summon him. Sports, fishing, children. That sounds wrong. I'm saying that because he has children. Nah, anyways. Baseball, beards. Do I know what this is about? No. Okay, so it says, on a hot August night, a troubled 15-year-old boy wakes to find his foster parents murdered by a trio of nocturnal, blood-drinking heathens. The killers give him the opportunity for a new life, one where he can be relieved of traditional hardships, vanquish his enemies, and attain a sense of true belonging at the cost of what little remains of his humanity. The life he is offered is one of eternal darkness, but the promise of undying acceptance, freedom, and power gives it an appeal that his current dreaded existence is lacking. It's Chandler Morrison, so I'll probably love it. And then I also have a Chandler Morrison recommendation. Play It As It Lays. I have never read this book, never even heard of it because I'm uncultured apparently. But I looked it up, and apparently it's like the most depressing, sad book to ever exist. So I am so excited to read this because I've been looking for sad, depressing books that will destroy my soul in the best way possible. So I can't wait to read this. Do I even know what this is about? No, it's about American life in the late 1960s. It captures the mood of an entire generation, plumbing the emptiness. Emptiness, sadness, depression. Need I say more? Then, I don't even know where to go next. Whitney Cummings. I have her memoir here, I'm Fine in Other Lies. I just read this one. Everyone on the internet tells me that we look alike. Everyone in my comments, they always tell me I look just like Anya Taylor-Joy. And if it's not her, it's Whitney Cummings. So I saw that Whitney Cummings had a memoir out. I love her. She's a comedian. I love comedians. So I purchased this, I read it, I absolutely loved it. I wasn't expecting it to be as like emotional as it was. Lots of commentary on body dysmorphia, eating disorders, anxiety, codependency, like just so many deep sexual assaults, like so many horrific things and subject matter, and it was so well done. I love this book. Then I picked up, recently I read Less Than Zero by Bret Easton Ellis, so I got the sequel, which is Imperial Bedrooms. I'm like losing my mind. So this is, this takes place how many years after like years after Less Than Zero, which they are 18 in Less Than Zero. You're just following a group of just rich kids that have literally everything and just spend their days doing drugs and having sex from a very early age, and just the shit that they're exposed to and the hollowness and shallowness of their lives. It really explores nihilism, and it's just kind of like a book about nothing, and then the end is just like really bleak and fucked up. So this one is following that book, and I think he's like trying to get revenge or something. But I'm really looking forward to this one. I love Bret Easton Ellis. Here are two books that I bought from my friend. My friend Anissa is going through chemotherapy for her lupus, so she's been like selling all of her books on Pango. I'll actually leave her shop linked down below, but I bought two books from her. The first one is Night Shoot by David Sodergren. This is a slasher kind of book. It's like based on slasher movies of the 1980s. I absolutely loved the horror by him. Then I tried reading Dead Girl Blues, and it just wasn't my style. Like, it wasn't bad, I just couldn't get invested into it. It's like a snuff film type book, but it's kind of like, it feels like a 1960s, 1970s kind of detective style book. I don't know, I just couldn't get into that one. But I do still want to read his other books because the horror was so freaking good. So I had to pick this one up to check it out. And then I got a thriller from her, The Trap by Catherine Ryan Howard. I don't read many thrillers anymore, but I don't even remember what this one is about. It's an unsettling mystery inspired by a series of still unsolved disappearances in Ireland in the 90s, where one young woman risks everything to catch a faceless killer. I don't know, let me know if you read this one, if it's any good, but those I picked up from her. Like I said, link will be down there for her Pango. Then I had two books that were sent to me. This first one is a nonfiction from Linda. Thank you so much. It's called Stiff by Mary Roach. This is about the lives of human cadavers. It's about decomposition and exactly what happens to our bodies after we die. I have a weird fascination with death and what happens to us when we die, so I love reading books like this. Thank you so much again. And then my friend Mary on Instagram from Mary's Perfect Reads a Sweetie Pie, and she sent me this book, Psychic Teenage Bloodbath by Carl John Lee. It's an extreme horror book. This is about a woman that's in a coma for a year, and then it says unable to sleep, she's gone quite mad, but deep within her mind she discovered a new and frightening set of skills, and now 1 year later she will use these skills for one single-minded blood-soaked purpose: revenge. I've heard good things about this one, heard like things about this one, so we'll see. Thank you so much, Mary and Linda. Editing Meg here, I forgot to mention my other sweetie pie, Ellie, from Instagram, sent me this book here. It's Survivor by J.F. Gonzalez, but the new version, the new cover, it's stunning, it's beautiful. I forgot to mention it in the haul because I have it on display here. I replaced the old one, which I still own, but thank you so much, Ellie. I absolutely love this book. It's my favorite extreme horror, so I had to mention it. I can't wait to read those. And then I have two books from Christopher Triana. Love him. I shared this one. This is his new book called The Old Lady. It's like an unhinged woman book, but it's kind of like a Rambo action type book. I don't like action in my books, so curious to see how I'm gonna feel about this one. But it's about this woman who is suffering from PTSD, and she goes to this cabin to stay there, and then there's like some teenagers that are staying there that need her help or something. I don't know. It's an unhinged woman book. And then I picked up Body Art by him, which is a erotic splatterpunk book, I think. Probably similar to Toxic Love by him, which I absolutely loved. This is about a disturbed undertaker, famous pornographers from the golden age of adult films, and a couple of high school graduates looking for a good time, brought together by a mysterious red dust. These unique artists will collaborate on the most terrifying work of art known to man. We'll see. I've heard really good things about this one, so I love Christopher Triana. Another sweetie pie. Listen, we have lots of sweetie pies today. And I've showed this one in my spring TBR. This is another extreme horror book, I believe, called Hysteria, Lolly and Lady Vanity by Ali Shea. Yeah, I butcher everyone's last name. Everyone butchers my last name, so don't feel bad. This is about, there's like these two women, there's Lolly, and she starts having these mysterious illnesses and symptoms after antiviral medication, and she can see halos above people's heads who are child predators, I believe. Yeah, and then there's Lady Vanity, so it's like this woman, Frankie, perimenopause is messing with her and she can't afford plastic surgery, but she stumbles across this electric knife called the Lady Vanity, which she starts doing DIY plastic surgery with this knife. It sounds wild. I can't wait to read this one. You will be seeing this in a vlog. And then Oteza Moshfegh, again, I bought my Rest and Relaxation from her. I did like the writing in Eileen, so I can't wait to read this one. It's another unhinged woman lit fic book about this woman who rests for a year. I don't know. I don't know. I think she's like really sad and goes to the psychiatrist and they tell her to rest. So sounds really intriguing, I'm sure. Then another sad girl lit fic book, Acts of Desperation by Megan Nolan. It has a butt on the cover. So this is a book about this woman who has a lot of like attachment issues and obsession issues, and like sounds just like me with my mental illness. So that's fun. I don't know, it's like this woman who's like in love with being in love, and she finally like falls in love with this guy, and they start dating, and her obsessive tendencies just keep getting worse and worse, and lots of mental illness and issues that happen. It's like a romantic obsession trope, and I started reading this last night. I read 20 pages and I like it so far. Then let's get into, I have two books that I got from Aardvark Books. This is a new horror book called Diavola, I think, by Jennifer Thorne. This is like a weird, campy, haunted house kind of book, I think. Like funny, maybe? I have no idea. Am I thinking of a totally different book? I don't know, like gothic haunted house. Okay, maybe not funny because everything says that it's creepy on the back, but I don't believe that because I don't think that anything is creepy or scary ever. I don't know. That's all you need to know. It's a gothic haunted house book. It's brand new. I've heard some mixed things. Some people like this. Some people are really hating this. So knowing me, I'll probably hate it. And then I picked up Baby X, which is a sci-fi thriller, and I read 30 pages and I DNF'd until further notice because I just couldn't get into the writing of this one. I don't know what it was. It's about like people are stealing celebrities' DNA and like making babies with them, and lots of like selling DNA, and I don't know. It takes place in the future. I just couldn't get into the writing of this one. It was just not interesting to me. I don't know how to explain it, but I'll talk about it in the future. Then I had A couple books from Book of the Month. I usually skip Book of the Month. I really don't find most things on there interesting, but I did have an accumulation of some books. The first one is The Women by Kristen Hanna. I've showed this. It's historical fiction about like the women that helped and served in the Vietnam War, and about like the nurses and stuff, and I've heard great things about this one. I love Kristen Hanna's writing. Shark Heart, I am almost done with. I'm currently reading this one, and this was like a free book because it won like an award or something. But but yeah, sorry, my camera battery is dying, so I have to make this quick. But it's a lit fic book about this guy that is turning into a great white shark, and it's a lot of commentary about like grief and death and dying and like progressive illness, chronic illness, abortion, like so many different things. And I do have some thoughts on this one you'll be seeing in an upcoming video. And then I picked up this thriller here, Kill for Me, Kill for You by Steve Kavanaugh. This one, I'm not even sure what this is about. I've been hearing good things about this one, but like I said, I don't read thrillers all that often, so I don't know. She will kill your worst enemy. All you have to do is kill hers. Kind of sounds similar to that Peter Swanson book. What the hell's the name of it? The one with the yellow cover? I don't know. It's about these two women that have a desire for revenge against the men who destroyed their families, and they come up with this plan, like, if you kill someone for me, I'll kill someone for you. I've heard good things. I've heard it's really fast paced, so I don't know. We'll see. And then I've heard bad things about this one, Murder Road by Simone St. James. I think this takes place in the 90s. It's about like this hitchhiker, and they discover that a bunch of people are dying along this road because it's probably ghosts, but then like this couple gets framed. I don't know. I've heard crappy things about it, but we'll see. And then my last one here is a nonfiction memoir called Hereafter. This is about this woman whose husband died, and it's kind of like another one of these books where there's like one paragraph per page, but it's about this woman whose husband died, like they're newlyweds, and he dies during while running a marathon, or like a half marathon. And it's just about her dealing with her grief afterwards. And I don't know, I love books that are sad and have to do with grief, so I had to buy this. So yeah, those are all of my new books that I got. Like I said, a lot of these I've read. They are in videos. I'll leave the videos linked. Anything else I will be reading soon. If you see anything that you want me to film a video on, let me know. If you read any of these and you loved them, also let me know in the comments. I love you guys, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye!